I'm sure most of you already know at this stage what happened. As most people that had watched this video and would say, right, where's the footage of the roof going on? So long story short, for all those people, I fell. The next segment of stuff I was recording after what you seen last year. I was putting on the underlay, the membrane that goes under the sheeting. So we're putting that across the rafters, myself and my brother-in-law. And what I was doing was I had a piece of board that was longer than the gap between the rafters, and we're just moving it across and across. Well, that's what I was doing, and we were very nearly done. And just a very simple lapse in judgment or thinking or whatever you want to call it on my part. I kneeled on the wrong side of the board, rather than kneeling on the part of the board that was inside the rafter. I just kneeled on the outside, and split second I was straight down, landed on the shoulder. So I'll bring you out now and I'll show you the scene of the crime. So long story short, what happened then was my brother-in-law and his brother put the roof on. Derek, the guy, the block layer, he done a couple other bits and pieces. So there's some changes here between the existing shed and the new shed. So I'll show you those first, and I'll show you then where everything went down, if you excuse the pun. So a bit of stuff moved around here. A couple of bags of lime there, that's for the plastering or the render or whatever you want to call it. And the big red toolbox is gone. That's been relocated because look at this. Oh, now there we go. So Derek, the block layer, he opened up the wall and removed where the bit of wall was below the old window. So that was there's an awful lot of people were commenting and asking questions, even on Facebook. How are you going to get in? Where's the door? So there, I hope that answers your question. There's the door. So that's just left there for now. So lots of old timber sitting around the place, just being stored here at the moment. And the bike, this is where the bike will live. Now the eagle-eyed among you will notice that there's a few damp spots there, and there's one there. Reason being, while the roof is on, it's not fully watertight because I'm waiting for the lads to come back when they get some time to flash it between the old building and the new, and then it has to be flashed along on the outside. As you can see, if you look up there, there's daylight there, there's daylight there. And what's happening is when it's raining really heavy like it has been the last couple of days, there's water just coming in and it's running down here. But there's so much coming in that we get someone to come out here a couple of times a day with the sweeping brush and push up the membrane to get the water just to fly out. So I have a couple of temporary lights up there at the minute, and there's my old bench that'll be going here somewhere. So thanks to the boys, they came and they moved a lot of this stuff, because like that thing there takes two full grown ass men to lift that. It's very heavy, especially with the vices on it. And yeah, so all this stuff is just put out here that'll eventually get used up at some stage. But right, so what happened was we were down here and we done the first row, we done the second row, we done the third row, and we were on this fourth row here. And I had the piece of board between the two rafters that you see here. So we were going to be moving across to do this section here, And what happened was I kneeled on the wrong side of the board, and I came right over head first here. I cracked my head off this on the way down, and I kind of landed down here on my shoulder, right pretty much where the bike is sitting, onto the concrete pad, and I hit the ground. I was lying there. I remember falling, but I remember going over, I remember falling, I remember hitting the floor. And the next thing, all I remember after that is I heard this voice, George, 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 repeat. You know, like somebody calling you in the morning when you're, you know, asleep longer than you should be. And it was Nate, my brother-in-law. And I was out cold for about 40 seconds when I hit the floor. And when I kind of came to from that, I had some sort of a seizure on the ground for about 15 or 20 seconds. So you can see still some evidence of the ambulance people that were here. Drip stuff and neck brace stuff. I actually had footage of me falling, but I didn't want to put that in there. I just didn't want to see that again, so I watched it once and then I deleted it. So I don't think anybody would really want to see that, and if you do, there's something wrong with you. So just the window has to go in next, and hopefully get the bit of flashing done, as I said, waiting for the boys. And what's being done is we're using all the offcuts of I have a lot of offcuts because I cut off the sheets. My original plan was I was going to extend out the roof over the joint, but looking at it then, the first time I seen rain falling on it, I said there's not going to be a need. So I was kind of studying it a while. One day there it was raining, and I was studying it from one of the upstairs bedrooms, and came up with the plan that if we cut up these into sections, like where you end up, if you cut that down along there, so you have the ridge and then you have the flat, and you just measure the distance from there out to here where the bend needs to be. Bend it, put it up there, a couple of screws in it, and the water will just cascade down along it into the gutter, and it'll be fully waterproof. So and at the offcut I had then, a big long offcut that came off this last sheet here, pretty much cut it in half, and that'll end up do the same trick down along here. We'll step flash it up along the wall, and then that big long offcut we'll put it on top and kind of bend the drip edges down to where we want them and put the capping on top of it, so it'll be grand. All the backside of that wall now is plastered. All the plastering is done next door, and I brought them in all the waterproofing stuff, so to put in the render. So that's going to be waterproof, and when in here is being plastered both inside and out, the waterproofer will be in the render as well. So that's pretty much that. So that is the explanation as to why there's no footage of the roof going on. I just was so deflated and kind of upset with myself for falling and breaking my shoulder. I just didn't bother. We'll be back with some more time-lapse footage at some stage of the window going in and the plastering going on, and ultimately at some stage down the road the floor going in. I wanted to get the shed up and the roof on, so I wouldn't be dependent on weather to do the plastering, because we're into stupid season now where it's going to be raining all the time. Every time you look out the door it's raining. So at least now with the roof on, I'm not worried about that. I can pour concrete whenever I like. All I need is a group of boys with wheelbarrows, and I'll stand here and tell them what to do, and we can get that sorted out. So outside then, fascia board, gutter, downpipe, all that crack has to be done. So Of course, I'm going to have to get somebody to do that now because I'm not able. And you know, it's turning into an expensive project now where you can't do stuff yourself. You have to pay people to do it. So what can you do? What can you do? Okay, we'll leave it there for now. 73. And that's Radio Speak for all the best. And we'll get you again. And everybody stay safe and have a good one. This is George. Bye-bye.